Hello, welcome to the channel. Today we've got some good news. Sports Interactive have made an announcement. However, it's not a Football Manager series title.
How are you feeling today?
Nervous. Really nervous.
Nervous? You're looking emotional.
I am.
I know you're disappointed. I know. Everyone's disappointed. We still only heard back. I'm predicting, if I'm honest, some sort of information coming out in the next month or so, because it's June. This time last year, there was the UEFA Champions League tickets giveaway, which they've just done now, which was a video we did the other day. And then they've then give us the announcement about the Premier League, if you remember, around the end of June. So, things are starting to tick on. What have they talked about today? Well, yesterday, actually. So yesterday was the 15th of May. I checked LinkedIn, as I do most days, and I didn't pick up on this. It didn't come up on my LinkedIn newsfeed. So I've got to give credit, first of all, to RD Scouting on Twitter, because he's the first one that alerted most people to it. And then, obviously, I've gone into LinkedIn and I found more information about it. But what they've actually done is they've announced they're going to compete with Y-Scout. Now, this sounds really, really daft in one respect, because Sports Interactive are a video game company. But they're not really, because what they are is a company that creates the biggest database across the world on football players. So what they're looking at there is using what they've already got, which is using a network of scouts to actually build a database. They're using their knowledge from using previous clubs. For example, we can tell you now, DC United have used it when Wayne Rooney was head coach. Jose Mourinho has said he's used it. We know Humphrey Kerr, for example, helped Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney buy Wrexham using it. There's a lot of things in Football Manager that makes it a very useful database, because it is a database. There's a game on top of it, but the majority of the information you want is actually the data in the database. So 2 weeks ago, they actually presented this to the Football Transfer Forum at Villa Park. So Sports Interactive have enjoyed reuniting with familiar faces, connecting with new professionals from the football industry. The event included insightful talks that provided a valuable stance on the evolving football landscape. We were proud to present an early access to an innovative data tool aimed at transforming player identification. The feedback from clubs and businesses was extremely positive, and we are eager for what the future holds. So that was 2 weeks ago. Fast forward to only yesterday. So they've said, from Sports Interactive, the studio behind Football Manager, comes a groundbreaking platform set to redefine how football clubs approach recruitment. Spanning over 7,000 competitions across 200 nations, our solution delivers unparalleled, subjective, because that's key, subjective is the opinion of the scouting, assessment of players, coaches and clubs. Backed by the world's largest scouting network, this is more than data, it's football intelligence refined through decades of expertise. That's obviously sales speech there. Whether strengthening your first team, investing in youth, or assessing backroom staff, this is your new competitive advantage. Now, it's interesting they're saying this, because obviously backroom staff is subjective, because Football Manager doesn't know every single member of staff. So it's interesting to see whether or not they're improving again on the backroom staff data. Anyway, that was that bit out, and they were asking for people if they were interested, and yeah, it was really interesting to see that point. Is it brand new? Well, I have a theory on this. I don't think it's brand new. So I had this theory literally as I was doing this video, and then I went, I think it's this. And it turns out it is. They've rebranded FMDB. So it's not a brand new system. They're going to bring FM database back to from Sports Interactive. There's a website. You've got to log in. Let me just show you now. When you click on it, I've got to go log in, and it'll ask me for my email, phone, Skype. So that's it. You got your sign-in options here. GitHub, personal accounts, there. So it's all set up. They're all good to go. So that's how they're going to do it. I've stumbled across that. So yeah, they're going to rebrand Football Manager Database. It's funny, I found a little hashtag in one post, and they said hashtag FMDB, and that's exactly what they've done. Maybe this is what the branding was all about. But yeah, there's a website. Yeah, back to what I was going to say. Ooh. I think the approach they've taken is brand new, but do you remember Football Manager Database? The app, the FMDB app? There was an app on there, and they sort of applied like sort of FIFA ranking points to each player to give you a rough idea. It was during the World Cup I think it was around Russia World Cup, I remember coming out. And that was there to try and give people an idea of how good the player, according to the Football Manager database, this player was. Now, is this a rebrand? I'm not too sure. They've got the database. They tried it with the public, and it didn't really take off. They obviously closed the app down, and it hasn't really been used in the last couple of years. And I think it's been out of service maybe 3-4 years. But that is an experience for them. They have experience of launching this type of data app. Now, not everything Sports Interactive do is successful. Football Manager is one of the largest successes, obviously, that they've had. But they have tried multiple different games, and I have tried covering like Soccer Club Rivals. They've got the FMDB app. They've got Eastside Hockey. They've got all these other like ventures they've gone on. Football Manager Live, for example. Football Manager Online. They've gone on these different ventures to see if they can actually do things with what the information they've got here. Now, we know places like DC United and Everton, and it is in the the privacy policy, that they do have companies that have actually got deals in place for the database. So this isn't necessarily something they're new to. There's a tweet I know that Ujo picked up on the tweet, and we're Miles picking out the thing of their SI games, but they're not really just all about games. And it's not, because Sports Interactive are a games company, but they're actually really a data company with a very good addictive football management game on top. Now, this is key as well. When they were building the women's football, and this could be one of the markets they go into, and you think about it, when they talked about women's football, there was no data in a lot of places. There was no information. They had to build it from scratch. If you've invested all that time building the data for women's football, and it's then going to be one of the primary databases for people like me who don't know that much about football in the women's game. I mean, you could say I don't know much about football, full stop. But what I mean is, there's the lack of data. They could have identified, actually, there is a market here for football companies wanting to know more about women's football companies. Like, for example, you've got like tabloids, remember they used to do a partnership with Sky Sports? Those type of deals could very well be in place for the women's game. How many times, and if you play Football Manager, you'll know this, how many times do you go, I saw him, he's on football, he's that one the kid was on Football Manager, signed him 5 years ago. Great, he's coming to our club. 9 times out of 10, they're an all right player. They're not superb. There's a couple of obviously great players we're aware of that have come through. But remember Freddie Adu? He's the one, he's stickler light in the torch. Tomadera, Freddie Adu. Remy Capri, I think his name was. These type of players, they were the early wonder kids that didn't quite reach the same status as, say, Lionel Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo 20 years on. But they're still famous for that information. They were there, and they became infamous for being on Football Manager. So if they can then do that for the women's game, and they can capitalise that and use it to reinvest the funds, why not? I know a lot of people are worried, and there's a lot of already discourse on Twitter going, when are they going to do the next game? But think about it this way. It's a way of funding a company, especially with the losses they've made on Football Manager 25. If they can make some money back selling that database, I think I'm all for it. Now, will we see it as good as Y-Scout? What does that mean? Well, Y-Scout, I know they had the contract in place with SCI Sports, isn't it? That's the one you see when you play the Data Hub. And we know that the Data Hub, in the vanilla skin, it's basic. I mean, if you wanted, for example, on PC, the Musterman skin or the SARS skin, they give you a lot of data. They are really data-driven, attributeless. You've got the FM Match Lab who go and above and beyond with their data analysis stuff. There's a lot of things community-driven where people have been building up on top of that. Now, it'll be interesting, especially with these type of developers with Football Manager 24, 25, where they're trying to recreate. Obviously, people have been doing it through the community of recreating what analysis they can get out in scouts. Maybe, just maybe, this will be a massive improvement in the data hub, the scouting, the analytics, how we get replays, maybe the whole back-end workflow processes that we associate at the moment in time. It's, okay, look, I found this player, your analysis comes up, found this player, he scored a great goal, but he also made these many assists. It's a better, more detailed report, but it's also okay, it's there detail heavy for those who want to be detail heavy. But if you want to see, you know, okay, did he score a good goal? Oh, yeah, let's see how he did. Oh, yeah, he did well there. That could be something. I know a lot of people going, let's get generative AI into the game. But if you think about the analysis side of things, if you can get more detailed analysis stuff, that can only add to the game. And I think that would be a massive benefit for the next series. Improving the data analytics would be absolutely key for Football Manager 26. I'm saying 26, it could just be Football Manager. Infinity. Rather than Football Manager Endgame, who knows? But no. Well, there you go. So Sports Interactive, starting a new venture. Obviously, it's really in safe hands, but look at it. They've got experts coming in and they're going to try and sell their analytical data, and I think that's a good thing for them. Whether or not we get that improvement then in Football Manager, I'm not too sure. It's an interesting thing. Hopefully, this is the start of more and more good news. Hopefully, you entered the Champions League's final tickets. Hopefully, you've got a chance. Until next time, like and subscribe for the channel, and we're out.